Breaking news. No other independence gift will be as sumptuous, as delicious, as valuable, as worthy, as noble as this. Just continue to share this video, make everybody see. This is the best Independence Day celebration gift ever. Not be the one where that bro stuck in the money. This one is it. So share this video, let it go around. It is good news for us. Judge Nancy Maldonado, all the way from Chicago, has given a verdict on the issue of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's using all tactics possible to stop Atiku Abubakar from accessing his Chicago State University record. And it's also no coincidence why this is happening that the mayor of Chicago has sent a special Independence Day message to Nigerians.
The city of Chicago. It is truly my
happy. I beg just to share this video. Now the good news is, I'll let you see that video, but it's going to be after now because the most important thing is this. The good news is, Judge Jeffrey Gilbert had given a judgment before early in September of the CSU, that Chicago State University, giving Atiku Abubakar all relevant documents. Of course, Tinubu went before Judge Nancy to seeking, I don't just want to talk, wanting Judge Nancy to stop Chicago State University from releasing those documents. And then he said all sort of severe repairable damage, and that Atiku was a fishy expedition that is not even relevant to the Supreme Court judgment, not admissible and all that. But Judge Nancy, who vividly, I think, would have read the tribunal judgment and even insisted in the notes in the judgment that there is no recourse to thinking that the Supreme Court may not change his mind, may not give a different judgment other than what the tribunal. She read it, and it was embarrassing. Although in her words, she said that she is not trying to in any way enforce whatever should happen because she doesn't have that jurisprudence, or she doesn't have that power to dictate what happens in a sovereign nation or a judicial process. However, but she thinks that this would be important for whatever the Supreme Court wants to do, and it's good, right? And he said it should be given, just like Judge Gilbert, Jeffrey Gilbert said, it should be given to Atiku in full. However, the judgment says that all relevant documents are non-privileged. All relevant and non-privileged documents. For the sake of clarity, by all relevant, it means everything that Atiku has requested that he wants, give it to him. That's one. Then two, by non-privilege, it means that if there are documents that by way of personal agreement with Tinubu and maybe the school, maybe for school fees he couldn't pay, or maybe there are some disciplinary actions that were carried out on him and they were documented, and it's between them, so to speak, agreement, the Western world takes agreement very serious, or it is a matter subject of litigation, please don't release those. But every other relevant and non-privileged document that it means the age, the sex, the parents, the school you use in entering, the college, the high school result you use, all of them will be available to Atiku Abubakar. And it has given the CSU, that Chicago State University, 48 hours ultimatum. That's Tuesday, 3rd of October, 5 p.m. exactly. By 5 p.m., Atiku should have all those documents in his possession. And that will give Atiku about 48 hours, because by 5th of October, the filing of the appeal in the Supreme Court would have expired. So Atiku still have about 48 hours to file in an appeal with the new evidence. And don't allow anybody to deceive you. Let me say this. A lot of Tinubu guys and APC guys are everywhere on social media declaring that the Supreme Court would not admit any new evidence. Of course, that may be correct, but they are quite different situation. Let me say this at this moment, at this juncture. The Nigerian judicial process is built on evasive, ambiguous, trivial frivolities in the processes, and they make it quite complex and cumbersome, so that you err in a certain way deliberately, and they can use technicalities to default you or to kick against whatever you are seeking. But of course, outside of this place, in judicial systems outside of this, especially in the US, superior argument and fact wins deliberately. And that's what Atiku's lawyer have been able to do, because the Tinubu lawyers that went before Judge Nancy could not present a new idea, a new format, a new way. They just wrote so many things, just like they wrote in their written address here. At the end of the day, okay, what do you have to say? Why how will this cause irreparable damage? And if you are somebody who is in a leadership circle, you understand what moral authority is. As a leader, When you lack moral authority, you allow nonsense to happen in your circle. And that's how we have in this government now somebody who is a serving youth corper as a minister. There are governors who have first certificates. There are certain persons who are moral authority because the president himself have been made cannot explain himself out of certain crimes and sins that have been attached to his name and brand. You lack the moral authority to be able to instill some level of discipline. Then two, we also leave ourselves by chance to be evaded by enemies of this country. The truth is, when an office as heavy as the office of president has got blind spots that nobody talks about, that nobody knows, a country or an entity or society or a person that has that level of information can use that to exploit the country. It is very possible. Let me give you an instance. Say, for example, your security man went to steal something somewhere and somehow he was caught, but he refused to tell you, but he's still your security man. You know, the people that caught him stealing, they can use that information they have about him or against him to penetrate in your house and doing a whole lot of. You see? So imagine if a blind spot of our dear president is with some countries, some societies, some terrorist organizations, some demonic, devilish organs, and if you know what some of these people are doing around the world to penetrate certain things, and no wonder you are seeing all this drama happening or yet theft. Do you know what these guys know about us? That's why they continue to do the things that they do unharmed, unprovoked, unhindered. These are the things. That's why when we say we want a person that is transparent, that is accountable, that is responsible, that we can track or trace. This is what we are saying. And some of you are just there being sentimental and emotional, and you don't care the negatives that comes with. This is it. So the Supreme Court may not, because of the fact that the Supreme Court is an appellant court in this matter. By appellant court, I mean a court of appeal in this matter, because the court of appeal is already served as a trial court. Normally, the trial court admits evidences on any case. The appellant court usually do not. The appellant court just review the appeal and somehow review the evidences. But there are certain openings that can make it possible for the Supreme Court to actually admit new evidences, and that's what I want to share with you, so that you don't allow these APC guys to deceive you and say it's not admissible. It's not. There are certain exceptional opportunities or openings that can make the Supreme Court, which is the appellant court, to actually admit evidence. And I want you again to share this video. Share this video. Everybody needs to know so that we can prepare for this big news that is coming. I'm happy that a 25-year-old lie that has sat in an office from being senator to governor several years, of course, even more than 25, so to speak, wants to be unraveled, unveiled, and disgwangwanged. So this is what happened. This is how the Supreme Court would be able, this is how Atiku may be able to present this new record in the Supreme Court, of course, which is the appellant court on this matter. Of course, like I did say, the appellant court do not receive new evidence. If you don't adjudicate fact there, they only receive appeals, and then they review evidences. So they can review evidences. And so one of the ways, this exceptional cases that an appellant court, which Supreme Court is acting right now in this case, can receive new evidence, number one, is that if there are administrative delays in those documents, in those evidences, if there were delays before the filing, so maybe before you file, there were administrative delays in it, Supreme Court or the appellant court can actually receive them while the case is under appeal, if the document were not being able to be received by the petitioner or the appellant, so to speak, if there were administrative delays. Another one is if the evidence is overwhelmingly relevant to the particular case, that not admitting it or not reviewing it can actually lead to a miscarriage of justice. The appellant court, which of course is the Supreme Court now, can as well receive or accept the evidence or admit the evidence. The third is if those evidence are reasonably believable, that you can just for once say no, you can't remove this. This is too believable. The appellant court, which of course is the Supreme Court right now, would admit such new evidence. Now, this is where we are praying that the Supreme Court do not use technicalities to again fault this process, because this in the fault of the exceptional ways that such evidences could have been admitted, if the Supreme Court agreed that if you have done your homework or by due diligence, this particular evidence would have been admitted during trial, in the trial court, of course, that's in the PEPC, the Supreme Court may refuse to admitting it. If you had a chance to have presented or admitted that particular evidence, and you didn't, or you couldn't, or you refused, and you are bringing it up in the Supreme Court. So we are hoping that the Supreme Court does the needful this time by removing technicalities and allowing superior arguments and facts to matter. Because like I've stated earlier, we cannot allow a man whose lifestyle, whose personnel, whose brand, whose journey has been struggled with a lot of deceit, manipulation, and lies. I want to unveil that mask. We want to know who the real Tinubu is. Like I've always said in my video, integrity is not about being perfect, but being perfectly honest. If Tinubu had admitted to Nigerians that he didn't go to school, or this and this has happened to him, this and this would have happened to him, Nigerians would have seen, accepted him, and we will not be where we are today. But the international embarrassment he has caused us, he has allowed us to wash our dirty name in public. So we'll continue from there. Good luck to Nigeria. We believe that this is the breakthrough we have been waiting for. Allow you now see the video of the mayor of Chicago wishing us a happy independence. Is good news.
Hello, everyone. It's Brandon Johnson, mayor of the greatest city in the world, the city of Chicago. It is truly my honor to wish you all a happy Independence Day. October 1st, 1960 marks a significant and cherished milestone in Nigeria's history. Since gaining independence, Nigeria has continuously demonstrated strength, resilience, and an incredible spirit. Let us remember those who have paved the way for Nigeria's independence as we celebrate the contributions and accomplishments of Nigerians right here in the city of Chicago and across the globe. I hope that you will celebrate Independence Day with your family, with gatherings and festivities, of course, wearing your green and white with pride. So, on behalf of Chicago, I am wishing you a happy Independence Day, Nigeria. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you.